Okay, I am not sure if anyone else will find this information interesting or useful. Useful, really. But I haven't been able to get it out of my mind in terms of sharing it. So I was sitting in a quiet space this morning um, reviewing. So if you wanted to take the opportunity to have or approach November as a review and aligning month, it's a very good month. It's a very good month for that. Even with all of the external um, activity, and I'm really working to choose my words carefully because I don't want to paint anybody into a corner based on my language. But November is being credited with being a very eventful month, just spiritually and energetically. And alongside that, if you want to take a look inward and sort yourself out in these last 2 months before 2022, which is also like we are, just pretend with me for a moment, we are ramping up. Like we've got these last 2 months of the year, and we, like, as a human community globally, um, and as individuals, we are gathering ourselves for big events in the future, big transformations, big shifts, personally and globally, and by country as well. You know what I mean? There's gradients of this as we go. So, all of that to say, even in the noise of the external world, this is a really good time to be quiet and ask yourself, where do I want to go? Because we're about to make big, like we've been in the process of big shifts, extremely for the past 2 years, and we're about to step into something new, all of us, whatever that is. So I was sitting in my preparation and this really, and yep, there's definitely, I know there are those of you out there who already know this. And I'm going to say it this way. I knew this in my mind. I knew this intellectually with the words and the thoughts and the philosophy and perspective. But the way that it settled into my body was so powerful and so beautiful, and I'd like to share that with you for those of you who might be on the edge of this understanding yourselves. So, I have a prayer practice, I have a writing practice, I do a lot of things. The food that I eat is very important to me. I love working with herbs as nourishment. So, as I was sitting this morning, just reviewing some of the ways that I can support myself and reviewing some of the language that I use and what I'm wanting to call in, it was a physical, deep in the body recognition that, and now I'm going to jump for a minute, and those of you who can follow will follow. The image that came to me was a fixed candle. And for those of you who don't know what a fixed candle is, I'm just going to, just briefly, it's a candle that is burned to support specific intentions. And it's part of spiritual traditions across the world. So the person making the candle will take their own or the petitioner's requests for support, for spiritual support, and they will choose herbs, and they will choose prayer, and they will sing, and they will choose particular days of the month or particular alignments of the constellation. They will use the tools of the earth and spirit to consolidate the petitioner's requests for support and guidance into this physical structure of a candle. And then the candle is burned, and there are instructions for burning the candle. And then the idea is that the requests are facilitated. Um, okay, so I have worked with fixed candles in the past, and there are some powerful candle makers out there. And I'm only sharing this because the candle that I chose, the intention that I chose, was a very subtle intention. It was not something that's really noticeable, like there are fixed money candles. There are a bunch. You can go research, and there are some people who are craftspeople when they make this. They are really working with clear intention when they design. And I know this is probably freaking a lot of people out. It's not the point of what I'm trying to share. But I want to share a little bit of my experience with them, because this is how I know the image that came to me. So working with something like peace, that's very like you can't really touch it. You can feel it. So I've experienced this with a fixed candle focused on the intention of peace. Before I even opened the box, I could feel. So I'm sharing that just to say to those of you who might be rolling your eyes, it's fine. If you don't believe in it, it's fine. If you think it's the work of the devil, that's fine. I'm not talking to you. It's fine. I'm not here to argue those points. I know what my experience has been, and I know that I chose something that was very subtle. So when I was sitting this morning and the message came that I am the fixed candle, we are the fixed candle. Everything that we take into our field, specifically our body, but everything that we take into our energy field is contributing to the facilitation of our intentions, to the facilitation of our energy field. So this is why there are people who teach on the use of herbal medicine. So there's the physical use of herbal medicine, so peppermint and whatever else we might have in our kitchens to address the things that come up being in a human body. There's also the energetic use of plants and herbs, whether it's flower essences or herbal tea preparations or tinctures or sleeping with mugwort under your pillow. There is an energetic relationship that we have with plants, whether we are conscious of it or not. The prayer, like many of us are familiar with prayer. We use it, the people around us use it. There's also song, there's chant, there's the vibratory sounds that we're using if we're working with singing bowls and I don't want to get stuck on singing bowls because the piano has a frequency and drums have a frequency. So whatever musical instruments we are working with in our vibratory field, these are all collaborating with us to create the experiences, to facilitate the path that we want to be on. What I was going to say is, it's, if you're working with candles, and this also applies to setting an altar, and it applies to setting a Christian altar in a Baptist church or, any church setting. Like, altar work is like candle magic if there's intention into it. So it doesn't matter if it's a candle or an altar that you're setting up in a more mainstream recognized religious/spiritual practice, depending upon the relationship we have with it. These are outward expressions of an inward awareness, of an inward conversation, and an inward relationship. And it's a beautiful outward expression. When I received that information this morning, that physical, because again, I knew it in my head. I knew that the candle wasn't the thing. The candle is imbued with our thing. We are the thing. So I don't know what you do with that information. I know what I'm doing with that information. What I will say, if you have not been encouraged to pay attention to what you are bringing into your body and bringing into your field, pay attention. Be intentional with it. Question habitual patterns that you have that may not be serving you, and take the next 2 months of the year to let go of the things, surrender the things that no longer serve you, and take some time to ask yourself, where do I want to be heading? That doesn't have to be an external destination that other people can recognize. It can be an internal, I want more peace in here, even when the conditions externally are what they are. That can be an amazing, deeply substantial request and new direction for some people to head. So I just wanted to share that. It was such a beautiful, such a beautiful experience. So happy Friday, and I will see you when I see you.